This is the Wilson Creek Shelter. We are packing up and getting ready to head out. We're the last ones left, but that's all right because everybody else left early. It's only 7:16. So we're moving pretty quickly this morning. We've got a big day today. I think we're doing about 17. The terrain looks like it's going to be really nice. There's a sunrise-ish sort of a thing there. Anyway, the terrain looks like it's going to be really nice. Interesting night last night as I was laying there in my bag. Actually, not my bag. I was just laying there under my quilt, which worked out really nicely, by the way. New gear, testing out a lot of stuff today, or last night. There was something big down in the woods, and I guess it was a deer, because there were some peanuts left on the table that the person that owned them forgot to hang them and didn't want to mess with lowering the food bag, and I understand that because it's the first day out and it's heavy and a pain in the neck. But nothing got into the peanuts, so I'm guessing that it must have been a deer that got into, that was rambling around in the woods last night. Boy, it was loud and it just moved around forever. But eventually we settled on in and got to sleep, slept well. We're getting ready to head on out, so we'll talk to you soon. Well, we're up and out at 7:45 this morning, heading down the trail, and here comes Hawkeye up the road. I'm gonna see if I can get him to go out in front and pace us, and let's get back on our hiking horse. We didn't, neither one of us hiked as well as we thought we could yesterday. And we're gonna see if we can get on out. Angel and Bullfrog left out a little early because they feel like they're slower than we are. And if we're on our game, they are a little bit, or at least Angel is. Bullfrog can do whatever he needs to do, but her legs are shorter and she's getting back into it. And we've got more trail miles on our legs than she does. And she's taking a whole week off, so it's all cool. Come on, bud. I'm gonna let you pace us. I want you to get out in front and hike. Okay. All right, so anyway, we're gonna move on down the trail and we'll let you know when we see some cool stuff. All righty, man, check out that snail right there. That thing, the snail shell is bigger than an inch from side to side. And he's just kind of moving right along. Well, he's actually kind of just sitting there. But that's one thing that's been kind of interesting to see out here is, I'm accustomed to seeing snail shells, but you don't very often see a snail sticking out of the snail shell, at least not at home. But this guy's moving. He's a big fella. He's a big fella. Yep. All right, we're going to head on up the road. We'll see you shortly. You need to get out of the trail so you don't get squished. Okay? You need to just hurry on out of the way so that you don't get squished. All right, I'll tell Gavin about you. Be safe. Well, we're moving along. Just saw this little thing here on the top. Probably not going to go up there because we're doing a long day today. And that's uphill, pretty steep, over rocks. Not sure what that is, but maybe Bullfrog and Angel will have gone up there and can tell me about it. But I've got it on video, whatever it is. And we're moving on down the road. I think the trail's going to be good to us today. For weeks we've had a trail that has been fairly moderate, I would say. Coming down Dragon's Tooth was not moderate, but at least it was downhill. Going up Dragon's Tooth, it was a little bit of a challenge. It was steep, but most of our inclines, even the long ones, have been fairly gradual. And going up to McAfee Knob, Beth said she got up there in, I think it was 2.5 hours. It's a nice little day hike, 3.7 miles from the parking lot. So that'd be something that maybe some of you would enjoy doing. That's one of the most photographed locations on all of the AT. So look into that. McAfee Knob, it's up in Southern Virginia. It's the second of Virginia's Triple Crown. As you go north, you got Dragon's Tooth, then McAfee Knob, and then you finish up with Tinker Cliffs. And each of those are really nice looking things. Going to Dragon's Tooth also would be drivable from home, but you would go up it from the north. It'd be a steep climb, but if you're into rock scrambling and don't mind a little bit of fun, it's a nice view up there and a nice little rock outcropping. So anyway, we're heading on down the trail today. Probably going to a shelter for lunch and then going on to a campground for the evening tonight. And that'll give us a chance to maybe eat a real hamburger instead of rice and spam. That'll be a treat. So we'll see how things go. We'll talk to you as we go along the trail today. Well, we're about an hour into our trip today. We're about 2.5 miles, so we're getting faster. Gavin's still behind me, but I know that he's not far. And it seems like increasing your elevation always seems to go with climbing rocks. I guess it's that it's the peaks of the mountains, the tops of the hills that are the rockiest. And all of a sudden we find ourselves going through rubble, but it's not too bad. The rocks at this point aren't too sharp and pointy, but there's a lot of loose gravel that moves around, and that's not a lot of fun either, but it's manageable. And that's what we're going to do, is we're going to manage. Keep on moving forward, taking the next step, as it were. And we'll plow along. So we'll talk to you soon. Oh, by the way, some nice rock outcroppings up here I'm coming up to. I'll leave it here for a minute. And the trail's gonna look like it ducks right down between there. But the good thing is it looks like I'm at the top of something. So I get to relax and stride out for a little bit. I'm thankful for that. Well, this is kind of notable. I don't know if you recognize this road right here or not, but it's the Blue Ridge Parkway. And I knew that we would be paralleling the parkway at some point, and today is that day. So anyway, thought I'd pause and show you that. We're going to be along the Blue Ridge Parkway for a while, and then later on we're going to be along Skyline Drive when we get up in the Shenandoahs. It'll be kind of nice. And there's a couple of places where the trail can cross over the parkway and do some overlooks. There's one coming up in just a little bit. I don't know if we're going to cross over or not. And actually the trail doesn't cross. There's a side trail. You can go out to the overlook. That may be it there. I don't know. But I think I'm probably going to plow on towards the shelter so that I can have a little bit of lunch. My breakfast is waning a little bit. So get on down the road and see how things go. Actually, it does look like we're going to cross the trail right here. We'll see what happens. I see a double blaze, so something's going to happen. Well, there's the mark for the AT. And where do we go? Oh, well, there's bullfrogs, so we're going to go straight across. Both ways, and head on, and let's see what this overlook looks like. Oh wow, nice one. I don't know whether these folks are doing trail magic or if they're just out enjoying the day or not. Looks like that fellow's hiking. Oh, that's the polar bear. We stayed with him last night. So, wow, nice overlook. I don't know where the trail goes. It looks like it must go up there, because that's the way that he's headed. Well, that's beautiful. That's really nice. Good morning. I'm well. How about yourself? Good, good. Thank you. And there's the trail fam. Working on the blisters. Uh-oh, he's going to cut her toe off. Holy cow.
I'm thinking about it.
Yeah, he's got the knife ready. Got some alcohol.
Sewing her mouth shut.
Oh, good luck with that. Alrighty. So this is our overlook, Taylor Mountain overlook. Boy, that's really nice. Pan around here, and then I'm going to sit down for a minute, tie my shoes again and tighten them up a little so they're not moving around on me. So far a good morning of hiking. So you can see those eagles right there, but I'm standing here on the Blue Ridge Parkway at the Taylor Overlook, and there's the deer down there. How about that? That's the best video I've been able to get of one yet. Oh, there he comes. She, my bad. bushes there. I think she's not quite sure what to think of me. I'll be quiet for a minute. She may be hiding now. Thought she might come out into the open over here a little bit. See what happens. I'll turn her off and wait for a little bit. There she is again. Yeah, buddy. I knew she was hiding down there in the bushes. That car drove up and she just didn't want to move. God's beautiful creatures. About that. Well, we're paralleling the Blue Ridge Parkway this morning. Yeah, it's still this morning. And we got views off to the right down here in the valley. Really nice. Probably ought to get my phone out and figure out what those two big mountains are and see if we're destined to climb them. But I'm afraid to know because they look pretty imposing from here. But we're meandering up the trail, headed towards lunch here just shortly. A little less than 3 miles from lunch. And that should give us the energy that we need to bounce on down the trail for the rest of the afternoon. It's not been a hard day. A little rocky at points, but not undoable. There's a view. Well, that is a view. It's nice. All right, we'll check with you in a little bit. Well, we've come over to another overlook here. We're paralleling the Blue Ridge Parkway today. And having a nice day. Pretty straightforward walk, even though we got some rock issues, but we do have some views and that's nice. It's always good to be able to come out and look down into the valleys below and see the ridges out in front of us. And we certainly have that with great weather today. Well, we got this nice little rock retaining wall right here. I don't know whether this was put here for the Appalachian Trail or for what reason exactly. It seems like a little much just to put out here for us, but it's huge. It certainly is intentional.
The road is just right there.
Oh, okay, okay. Bullfrog says we've got the parkway up above us, and that makes sense. I thought we had diverged from the parkway a little further, so that makes a lot more sense then. So this wasn't put here for our benefit. It was to keep the cars from tumbling off the mountain if the road collapsed, which is a good plan, because that would be bad. Really bad press if the roadway, no, there is some poison ivy right there. Cool. It would be bad press if the roadway collapsed and sent cars tumbling into the valley way below. So anyway, we're plowing along. Well, there's a water place. I'm glad it's not raining right now. That's to drain water off the top up there, I'm sure. Got another view off to the side there. It's been a gorgeous day of hiking today so far. All right, now that's a spider right there. We think that all the fuzz on the back is babies climbing on and carrying onward. And that's kind of neat. We've not seen that before. Didn't know spiders did that. I wonder if that's Aragog. That thing's huge. That's almost as big as the one I saw in a privy one night. But I really had to go, so I just kind of knocked him down and took my chances. Well, this is Bobbett's Gap Shelter, and we're going to sit down and have some lunch. Hawkeye's a little behind us, not too far, I'm sure. Really cool fire ring. Really nice. I like the rocks and the little flowery looking thing there. But it's been a good hike today. Got a few rocks, but isn't that the way of it? So I'm going to sit down and eat, and we'll talk to you soon. Well, we're leaving our lunch. We climbed up out of the hole where the shelter was, and we're out on a ridge line moving along here just above the Blue Ridge Parkway. And I think we're going to have quite a number of views as we go along today, so we'll look forward to that. And I think the rest of our trail is just going to be just gentle meandering through the forest with little ups like this one and then little downs just like it on the other side, or at least that's my hope. We may have a few little climbs and a few little descents, but mostly I think we're going to have a pretty nice little walk, about 9.9 to the next roadway, or to the roadway that we're going to, and from there we'll call into the campground and they'll come pick us up. So we're looking forward to getting there this evening and resting and maybe do a little resupply. I think Bullfrog's wanting to mail some things home if they can do that. And those are all reasonable things to expect at a shelter, or at a hostel. So we're looking forward to it, and we'll talk to you up the trail here a little bit. Well, out of the woods and crossing the parkway here, we got views to both sides. That's pretty nice out there, and there's some sort of a bird soaring up here over us. Kind of nice. At the last overlook, we read a lot about hawks. I don't know whether that's hawks or not. And we'll see what we got over here. Oh man, the breeze feels really nice right here. I will say that. Yeah, I still haven't looked to see what those big things are, but man, I hopefully stay off of that. I'd be just happy to stay at the elevation where we are right now and not have to contend with those. But we'll see what happens as we go along. Well, this is the Mills Gap overlook on the Blue Ridge Parkway. And we are looking down on top of the James River. It's right there in the center. The sign over here says it's 1,585 feet down. So I don't know how they figure that, but I know they know. I'm sure they've got some computers that'll tell them that. But man, it's a gorgeous day, and we got beautiful views. And I sort of feel like we're going to be crisscrossing the Blue Ridge Parkway for a while yet. And then we switch over to Skyline Drive when we get to the Shenandoahs. And so we're going to be seeing views like this both ways. I did look up, that's Sharp Top up there. I don't think we go over that. I'm hoping not. Boy, it looks awfully steep and sharp. There goes the name. And I want to say Buzzard's something to the right of it. I've forgotten now. I don't think it's Buzzard's Roost because I think we had one of those already. But anyway, we're just kind of running up and down the Blue Ridge Parkway here today, crisscrossing it every few miles, or half a mile, 3/4 of a mile, something. Every now and again we cross over the parkway and head back into the woods until we get to the next overlook. So, not a ton of traffic on a weekday after a holiday weekend, but that doesn't change the views. And I think they are more meaningful. I don't know, I've heard people say, well, these people just drive up and down the road and pull off and look for a few minutes and get back in the car and drive on to the next one. And we're walking to all these views. And I guess that makes them feel like they're better than the other folks, but you know, not everybody can get out here and do this walk that we're doing. There's some people that aren't able for a physical reason or for a time constraint. They don't have the money to buy the equipment that you need to do the kind of walk we're doing. So, you know, we're really blessed to have this opportunity and to have the ability. And that's one of the things that I try to remember to thank God for every night when I'm saying my prayers is, you know, thank you for the ability and the opportunity to be out here. And especially for Gavin and I to have the ability and opportunity to be out here together. Because, you know, we're developing our relationship. And I know it's rocky at times. Gav doesn't much care to get out of the bed. I don't either. But I do it. But I have to work pretty hard sometimes and get kind of aggravated and frustrated sometimes to get him going. And, you know, that's one of the things we'll work through while we're out here. He doesn't mean anything ugly by it. It's just the way he is. And I'll be honest, I was probably the same way when I was his age, that I just didn't want to get up. And I'm still kind of that way, but you know, being older and more mature, I know if there's a job to be done, like get up and walk 17 miles today so that we can have a nice place to stay tonight, then I have to get on up. But he'll get there, and I'm proud of him for everything that he's done. It's just been awesome you know, watching him out here hike hard, interact with the people that we meet, and you know, he's becoming more and more self-sufficient. He certainly is self-sufficient in the hiking department. We were separated by probably 3/4 of a mile to a mile today, and I don't worry a lick about him because I know he knows where he's going and he knows how to read his map, and he's a very capable hiker. You know, I've said many times before, we are all convinced Gavin can out-hike any one of us if he wants to. It's just a matter of making sure that he's fueled properly, that he's eating well, and has his mind about him. And most of the time, that is absolutely the case. He does a good job. So I'm real proud of him. I love him dearly. Well, Blue Ridge Parkway ahead, but not for us right now. I'm sure we're going to cross it eventually. There's a turn to the, I don't know, maybe you don't. It says follow the Blue Ridge Parkway north, but we're going out across the street over here. But I did want to show you, we crossed a little stream that's not in Gut Hook's guide. Seems odd because it's a pretty nice flowing stream, enough to have a bridge over it. But man, we really cameled up at the last spot, preparing to not have water for the rest of the day. But there's no reason at all to not drink that water if you filter it. Looks fine to me. But anyway, that's our stream crossing for right now, and we'll get back on trail and see you shortly. Okay, we've still got the standing policy that anytime one of us stops and says wow, the camera comes out. And this was a wow. Look at the depth of that ridge line right there in front of us. And then you look out beyond it and you can see forever. That is really a nice view right there. And I bet we're gonna wind up on that ridge line up there at some point. Not today, but sometime. So anyway, we're gonna head on down the trail and see about having some supper and maybe getting a shower. We'll talk to you in a bit. Alrighty, first eastern box turtle of the trail. Bullfrog is noticing that she's dug out behind. She's maybe laying some eggs and might want some privacy. So we're gonna go on down the road here, but that's the first turtle I've seen. Nice. Well, just like the ants, we go marching along one by one. And we're getting ever closer to our destination for the evening, which is, I don't even know the name of it. It's the Campground and Hostel. About 2.5 miles up from us, or 2 miles, or it's somewhere up there. We were hoping for an hour and 15 or 30 minutes maybe to get there. We just ducked into a shelter to get off of a ridge line. We had a tail side of a storm coming across us, and it's going to rain some more tonight, I think. But we're going to be indoors for it, I think. So that's a good plan. And looking forward to having some real food and a shower as well, even if it's a drip dry situation. It's nice to get all the salt washed off your body and get comfortable again. So we're heading on down. I've forgotten the name of the shelter where we stopped. And I also forgot to take a picture of it because it was drizzling rain when we got there and I wanted to get underneath the shelter. But Polar Bear was there. We slept with him last night at the last shelter. He got there just a little ahead of us, not far. But anyway, we're marching along. We'll talk to you soon.